sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am making the sense. Well, I'm making sense out of the senseless and screwing up my lines. What's going on with my camera? Yeah, I thought so. I think somebody was playing around with my camera. Yeah, it's fixed. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like that live stream, click on the subscribe button. Not only does it keep you up to date, it lets me know what kind of material you like. If you want to support the show, or if you want to support SHR Media, if you want to support the Southside Mutt Show, which is every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. Now, if you want to support those shows and support the station, just click on the Reaver store on Reaver.one. And more importantly, on Reaver.one, there is a link for Glenn Doherty Memorial Scholarship. Yes, the Glenn Doherty that gave his life at Benghazi to save others. We're trying to get that to be a permanent scholarship, people. I need help. I can't do this by myself. I am doing this on behalf, without being asked, Chris Pronto. This memorial scholarship is in the name of a great man. Just go to the site. It'll give you the email and the person's contact. Get a hold of them. Donate 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, 30, whatever you can donate. That would be great. I guess I should put my eyes on today. Wow, I can actually read the words. So much going on. So much going on lately. And it seems that Kasich and Cruz's little tantrum, tag team tantrum, is backfiring. Yeah, it's backfiring. And a lot of people, I don't think the campaigns realized how bad it was going to hurt them. And lo and behold, it's hurt them. It seems to be hurting them bad. I have not seen a mass exodus this bad. Through social media, I'm seeing a massive amount of people that... Oh, my wife gets mad when I do that, by the way. For those watching the video. I have a habit, and I get a little itchy nose like most men do. And also, the goatee go down the sides. And she gets mad when I do that. She's like, why are you doing that? I don't know. It seems to be a nervous habit I've gotten with doing this show. Especially with the little Reaver rant video clips I've been doing. Got a habit of doing that real bad. And it's a nervous tick. And it seems like I did that especially in the days of when I first started. What's going on here? There we go. The pause button didn't work on my remote. Now I'm watching little lights blink here and there on my board, and that's not supposed to be blinking. It's blinking and flashing and flashing and beeping. If you didn't get that, please go watch Airplane 2. But with everything going on, a lot of people are waking up to Ted Cruz's bullshit. They're now seeing what a majority of the country is seeing about Ted Cruz, and they do not like what they see. And some of them are very upset because they put a lot of trust, a lot of effort in supporting Ted Cruz, thinking he was not your typical politician, but as it's turning out, he is nothing more than the typical politician. And he fooled a lot of people. He fooled a lot of people with his act. And they're pissed, and I don't blame them. They got hoodwinked. I got hoodwinked. I was a supporter of Ted Cruz at one time also. And he pulled the wool over my eyes. And it pissed me off. But with that, the Huffington Post. Oh, and by the way, I was looking at polls, and I don't report polls that much because they're so fluid. They're changing constantly. But one of the polls that came up, because Cruz's mouth, Donald Trump loses to Hillary Clinton in all the polls. Psst. So do you. In fact, I've been looking. I haven't seen Cruz win against Hillary Clinton in a long, long time. But someone needs to go up and wait, psst, Cruz, you might want to shut up about that one. Why? I'm getting them out there. I'm telling them that Hillary's going to beat Trump. Psst. Hillary beat you too. Say what? The man is delusional. He really is. His campaign is delusional. And I'm not talking figuratively. Literally, these people are delusional. And I'm really wondering if there's some kind of mental illness going on in that campaign. Not because of what they believe in. Number one, they actually think they're winning. They think they're winning this primary. And one of their guys for New Jersey campaign, I was flicking through the channel, saw CNN. I saw they were talking about Trump and Cruz. So I stopped for a minute. And I hate to admit it, actually, CNN lately hasn't been that bad. And they had said, and so did MSNBC, they saw the ratings drop, and they're still left-leaning. Yes, I know that. But it seems like they're actually trying to do some journalism lately. They're trying to get the ratings back. That's going to take a long time. But, I was flicking through, and I stopped. And this campaign worker, I forget what his title was and all that happy horse shit. But it was for Ted Cruz, and he's going on how they are winning and Trump is losing. Even Anderson was like, whoa, wait a minute. Do you know how many people would like to be losing like Trump is losing? Well, you got to understand, we got the motivation. We have the go right now. We won 5 states in a row, and New York was such a small win for Trump. It was small. It wasn't that big of a win. Really? He got over 60% of the votes. You placed in third. You didn't even get that percentage of votes in your home state, Cruz. You barely made it over 40% in your home state. And that was with 5 people at the time. And Trump finished second in your state. You finished third in New York. You are delusional. And then I saw Cruz. The people are behind me. The people want me. Yeah, they're just voting for somebody else. But yes, they want you, but they're voting for Trump. How friggin' delusional do you have to be? I know there's this, when you're behind, you can't show that you're losing. You need to have a good atmosphere that we're going to do this. We're going to win. We're going to come back. We're going to win. Except for the fact that you're pretty much mathematically eliminated. But this air that you're winning, and he's done it, and I heard it again. And we've been hearing it this whole primary season from the Cruz campaign. All right, we're going to win big this coming Tuesday. We're going to win big. We're going to take this and turn it around. Oh, we lost. Well, we're going to hit our stride next Tuesday. The next big Tuesday is when we're going to hit our stride, and that's when we're going to make this comeback, and we're going to take over this thing. Oh, we lost again. We're going to take it till next Tuesday, and we're going to ride this to a win. And he turned around last night. May is coming up, and that is when we're going to hit our stride, and we're going to take this thing to the finish line and win. I forget what it was. It was like a month ago. They even called him out and said, every time you keep pushing the goal line back, saying that is when you're going to hit your stride and take it. Well, you got to look at the points. We're starting to win some votes. You're in third place the last several elections. Yeah, but we've moved up in fourth place. And then you got Kasich, who is in fourth place out of a 3-man race. Those two are so delusional. And there's still supporters left, and they're just what we need. Your guys are just being whiny little bitches. They lost. They can't win. And I actually had a conversation. There was 3 of us, and we were discussing all this on Twitter. And one guy was a Cruz supporter, but he was, you know what? It was a respectful conversation amongst the 3 of us. I don't agree with what he had to say. I don't agree with how he came about some of the things, but it was respectful amongst the 3 of us. And even as it got late, we all said, hey, you know what? It's getting kind of late. We need to get going. And I was like, listen, thank you for the good conversation. And it was. We had a conversation. And I've never once on my show said not to vote for Cruz. I want people to vote for who they want to vote for. I've never been a cheerleader saying you got to vote for this person. I've talked positively about Trump because that is the candidate that I like. I have talked negatively about Cruz because I do not care for him. But I have always said vote for who you want because that is the American way. Vote for who you want. Simple. And I don't know why people can't have that kind of attitude. And it's on all sides. Just respect each other's decisions for what they want. You can have a conversation, and we talked about it last night, about how we don't agree how Cruz is going about all this. Well, he shouldn't be given, Donald Trump shouldn't be given it unless he gets to 1237. Well, but you're okay with Cruz getting, no, that would be a contested convention. It would be a decision amongst the delegates. No, it's still given to him. He didn't earn it. He lost. Kasich lost. And he kind of understood where we were coming from, and I understand those are the rules, and not that I'm okay with them, but those are the rules. But I've also looked through, did my research, and there's been candidates that have come up short. And on the first ballot, there's always unbound candidates that come along and say, you know what? We're going to go with him. If we even go to a contested convention, it's not going to be good for the Republican Party, period. It's not a threat. I'm not saying riots. I'm not saying all this arguing. We're not going to win it. Because you were going to piss off the Trump supporters so goddamn bad. And he has the majority of the vote. And now the new one is, well, he's only got 37% of the delegates. He's got more than Cruz. He's got more than Kasich. And they keep trying that. Well, he's only got 37% of the vote. 60% of the people in the United States do not want him. Yeah, and 70% don't want Cruz or Kasich. You know, these numbers. The one thing I didn't understand about the guy that we were having the discussion with, it's easy for Trump. He has the advantage of being in the lead. It's an advantage. He wasn't given the lead. It's not like he has the designated hitter, so he doesn't have to have his pitchers out there hitting. I don't understand how he has the advantage and what? You know, Cruz could have battled, done some things better, and took the lead. You know, instead of, and I've heard Cruz supporters even say this, instead of being negative about Trump, and that's all they hear also, all he does is attack Trump. And this is coming, I'm not quoting me, I'm quoting from Cruz supporters. All they hear him is being negative to Trump. Instead of talking about his campaign, getting in depth of what he will do and how he will accomplish his policies. Everybody jumps on Trump that has to explain all his policies. But I never hear Kasich going in depth about his policies or Cruz. And you know what? I don't expect them to go into a in-depth conversation about how they are going to get there on their policies because it's the primary season. And with that, you have a basic idea of what you want to do as a president. And then as you go further and further and further along in this process, you start putting your plan into place. And once you become the candidate and start running for president, that's when you really start getting people together and start putting the pieces together on your plan. And that's when you get a little bit more in depth. That's a basic concept. Because why do you want to spend all that time, money, effort coming up with this extravagant plan and then not even get the nomination? Because even if you were running and you get elected, you still don't have the exact plan that needs to be put in place. Because once you're elected president, then you have to put your cabinet together and you got to get all the experts that you need. And then they finish your plan and really give it shape, depth, and this is how you're going to do it. And I understand that. And I don't expect Kasich. I don't expect Cruz or Trump. You don't have a step-by-step plan. They have a generalized idea of what they're going to do as a president. And we've seen it. And Cruz supporters I've seen agree with this. That Trump's come up with ideas, and next thing you know, you start hearing the field saying, this is what I'm going to do. And what did Cruz say recently? How he was going to handle the immigrant situation. I am going to build a wall. He has been bashing Trump on that idea, but then he goes and says he is going to build a wall. Really? 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 I'm not going to build a wall, but I want to build my love for you guys. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundit Radio, and I was trying to come up with really something smart-ass and couldn't. We'll be right back.
Right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cat for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. And don't forget the Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrimedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.1 and click on the live stream. Itchy nose. If you like that live stream, don't forget to hit subscribe. Keep up to date. If you want to support the show, if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1, click on the Reaver store. Dang. Go to Reaver.1. I have a link, the Glenn A. Doherty Memorial Scholarship. I got to get a hold of Chris to get an update. Trying to get it to $24,000, just for the fact once it hits $24,000, it becomes a permanent scholarship. This is a scholarship that needs to be permanent. It's in the name of a great man who gave his all and gave his life so that others may live. So just go to my Reaver.1. It has the information on who to contact and the email address of who to contact. So let's really, lately I have all these intricate notes and everything, and I haven't been following them. Thank you. I need to finish waking up. Especially Wednesday night, I'll write all these notes, and really, 70% of the Southside Mutt show is so far off what is written. Sometimes I wonder why I even write. Because I know what's going to happen. The day I don't write any notes, I don't want to call them scripts because it's not a script, but I got this outline of everything for the show, the topics, and we do not follow it. But I know the day that I don't write them, we're going to be sitting there going, yeah, so how's your day going? It's going to be weird. So, yeah, tomorrow night, the Southside Mutt Show with the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Crash. We'll be digging up the dirt on the news. Might even be slinging a little mud, mostly at each other. God, telling you should have been around in the days when me and Crash used to go to the bars, and we'd just sit there and drink and turn around and punch each other. Just punch. Look back at them. Punch back. And just not like standing up, swinging, just sitting there and the bartender, hey, if you guys keep your fighting, I'm going to have to throw you out. And we're having a conversation. We're looking at us. Well, we're friends. And they're just like, you two are weird. And once they got to know us, they would sit there and, oh, boy, they're having a conversation. Leave them alone. And they knew we weren't actually fighting. And we were mostly just putzing around. They knew usually that also meant we were getting bored. That was never good. So, but the Huffington Post is worried that Trump will trounce Clinton on trade. Try saying that a couple times fast. Trump will trounce Clinton on trade. Buddy. The left-leaning Huffington Post published an article which seems concerned that Donald Trump could defeat Hillary Clinton in a general election contest due to his strong position on trade. In a Friday piece entitled Hillary must toughen up on trade in case she is nominee against Trump, David Johnson, a fellow at Campaign for America Futures, writes, well, the other awesome thing I've noticed, they were sitting there laughing it up, and they thought Trump was a joke. And they're, we want to go up against Trump. That'll be an easy win. Wait a minute. His popularity's gone. We have Democrats leaving the party and going to the Republican Party because of Trump. It's not funny to him anymore. I know Hillary's out there going, oh, I want to go up against Trump. Yeah. Okay. Not going to be a good thing. And I've said it. One of the reasons they don't want to go up against Trump, he's not going to back down. And even some of the pundits on the Republican side that doesn't like Trump, are even backing that assertion. And now we've seen it already where Cruz is sitting there, I am going to take the high road, and I'm not going to go personal with Hillary Clinton. I'm going to run a clean campaign. You might as well crown Clinton president already. Because she's going to trounce. She is going to walk all over Cruz. And he's going to try to fight back, and he's going to try to be dirty. And then he's going to be apologizing. I'm sorry. And we're going to have 2012 all over again because this should be a very easy election. And 2012 should have been a slam dunk because majority of the country at that time, yes, I used the word majority and I wasn't talking about 50 plus 1. Majority of the country was tired of Obama at that point. If Hillary Clinton is going to be the Democrat nominee, she had better get tough on trade and mean it. One of Donald Trump's main element of appeal to his voters, if not the main appeal. See, I don't think that's the main appeal. I really think his immigration stand is his main appeal. Is his stance on trade, and, well, his trade is right up there. I will grant that, but I don't think it's his main. And bringing jobs back to America. It is the winning message, and Clinton is way behind the curve on this one. She's trying to play the field of pro Wall Street and anti-Wall Street at the same time. Why is my headset? That is the weirdest. Not touching the board, not anywhere near it, and all of a sudden my headset just stops. Now if I tap it, it comes back. Then it goes away. It must be the ghost of Romney's past. With his passive-aggressive attacks. Much of Trump's campaign message about our country's trade deals have wiped out jobs. On day one, much of his speech announcing that he was running was about trade. By contrast, Clinton has a credibility problem on trade. Johnson explained that unlike Clinton, Trump is not dependent upon donor class elites who want more globalist trade pacts. And that's helping. And Cruz won't be... Cruz and Hillary against each other, they'll be wiping each other out on it. Basically, they'll be wiping each other out. They were for it, then they're against it, and they'll vote for it. And I know he says he won't vote for it. He won't. He already voted for it once. And if it's going to fill his pocket full of money, he will. America's well-to-do elites think everything is going fine. Their stock portfolios are way up, so they're feeling good. They're writing op-ed about how well things are going and how our corporate paradigm is doing so well for us in the world. The elite donor class is giving huge sums to continuously buy off politicians. This is elites talking to other elites and not at all hearing what is going on in the country. Donald Trump is not dependent on a donor class. And he's saying that things are not fine, that wages are not going up, that jobs are hard to find, that trade is killing us. So people for whom things are not going fine, for whom jobs are hard to find, for whom wages are not going up and whose trade is killing are listening, and that is most people in the United States. Clinton has a credibility problem on trade. Almost no one believes her. Pro-trade voters vote for her. Pro-trade donors continue to give the max to her campaign. In fact, the hedging, i.e., Clinton's hedging on trade, has left the donor and corporate class believing she is on their side. That she supports the free trade agenda that has killed off so many jobs, factories, entire industries, entire regions, and left us with enormous, humongous trade deficit year after year after year, while making a very few at the top wealthy beyond belief. And yes, by fixing these problems, it will help Trump in the long run. People ask why he's doing it, besides the fact that I honestly think he doesn't like the direction that the country's going in, and honestly, he thinks he can do better, and I think he can too. But on the back end of it, if he can turn the country around economically, and it's doing better, his businesses will be doing better. In the long run, he will be doing better. And there's nothing wrong with him coming in, hey, my businesses aren't doing that great. I mean, and they're making money, but they could be doing a lot better. And he wants to come in and fix the problems that are going on so that his companies will do even better. And not only his, but it will help other companies along the way. What is going on in this country? We've had a bunch of politicians. And that's the nice thing, is we don't have to worry about it, that he has a pre-agenda and voted for certain things, because he's not a politician. Hey, he's not a politician. And it's about he bought politicians all. Yeah. And we've complained that we want someone to speak up about it. And we have someone that speaks up, and you slam them. Everything that people are complaining about for the last several decades, we have somebody that's standing up for that, and you slam them. And you want to go to what the norm is. The liberal author explains that Trump's economic message on immigration and trade has been at the center of his successful campaign platform. Trade and jobs are at the center of Trump's appeal. He rightly says China is killing us on trade and taking jobs, and people listen. He wrongly says that immigrants are taking people's jobs. But people believe it, and people listen. Well, drop. These immigrants are taking the jobs. I see it at Walt Disney World. I see it going on in Facebook. I mean, the company Facebook. They want to bring in these HB1 visas and pay them low wages and have control and getting rid of the American workers. We had that at Walt Disney. They brought in all these HB1V and whatever the frig PDQs. The American workers had to train their foreign workers, and then the American workers were fired, and these foreign workers came in at a lower pay rate. And they can't go anywhere to look for any other jobs because, well, Walt Disney controls their visa. At any time, they can have them deported. So they have slaves working for Facebook, for Microsoft. All these top companies, they want these immigrants coming in to take our jobs. And they're going to pay low wages. So, yes, the immigrants are taking our jobs. It's not hard to see, people. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like the live stream, don't forget to subscribe. Keep up to date. If you want to support the show, or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Go to Reaver.one, where we have a link on it. Contact information to donate to the Glenn A. Doherty Memorial Scholarship. This is in a great person's name, a great man's name that gave his life so others may live. Now, this I'm finding funny. The Mizzou professor that was fired not too long ago for her actions during the protest, where she was stopping one of the students that was part of the press that was covering the protest and yelled for Muscle to come over to help her get this person out of there. Yeah, she's now saying she was fired because she was white. Not because she, number one, was trying to manhandle a student. Number two, she was stopping freedom of the press. And number three, she has a history of going batshit crazy on people. She did it on a cop on a different incident. So, yeah. This one was batshit crazy. I think it's time to shave again. So we were talking about how now Huffington Post and liberals are a little bit worried about Trump because Trump has a stronger message and stance on trade than Hillary. The author's statement, dismissing Trump's economical message on immigration offhand, represents a recent development for the left, which had previously acknowledged that mass migration harms the wages of workers. In fact, American Federation of Laborers, like I can speak all of a sudden, founder and president Samuel Gomper, that's weird. Gomper. Those who favor unrestricted immigration care nothing for the people. Now, this is again amusing that someone on the left would be saying those who favor unrestricted immigration care nothing for the people. This is what the right has been saying for a while now. This is what Trump says and gets called a xenophobe and a preacher of hate. And now the left is even going, bringing in all these migrants, it's hurting the American people. It's hurting their jobs. The economical principle here is fairly straightforward. Just as when American manufacturer workers are forced to compete with lower-wage Vietnamese workers outside the country, it creates a downward pressure on wages. If you bring in millions of low-wage workers to compete throughout the U.S. economy, it has the same wage-depressing effort on the workers against whom they are competing. The only difference is that when those foreign workers are brought into the United States, those low wages are subsidized by welfare paid for by American taxpayers. And the imported foreign workers are given benefits such as free education for their children and the ability to vote in U.S. elections. In fact, so recent is the left's abandon of its former position on immigration that only a few years ago, Bernie Sanders himself, prior to his adopting the new left's immigration platform to run for president, acknowledged the harmful effect of migration on U.S. workers. In 2007, the pre-conversion Sanders explained his opposition to McCain-Kennedy immigration agenda in a piece entitled, CEO-backed immigration bill would depress U.S. wages. Now, he backs these types of bills because of George Soros money. What most concerns me about this immigration legislation are the provisions that could and would bring low-wage workers into this country in order to depress the wage of American workers, which are already in decline. With poverty increasing and the middle class shrinking, we must not force American workers into even more economical distress. The CEOs who want this bill aren't even embarrassed by the hypocrisy. One day they shut down plants with high-skilled, well-paid American workers and moved to China, where they pay desperate people 50 cents an hour. The next day, they have the nerve to come before the U.S. Congress and tell us that they can't find skilled workers to do the jobs that they need. Give me a break. Donald Trump is the only candidate in the race who has pledged that he would use tariffs to cancel out Chinese currency manipulation and has pledged to reduce migration. Not even Cruz or Kasich have talked about that. We're in a downward spiral as a country. And it doesn't look like anybody's going to stop it. So Trump has agreed to the Megyn Kelly interview. GOP frontrunner Donald Trump agreed to sit down for an interview with Fox News host Megyn Kelly on May 17th, according to Page 6. The agreement comes after Kelly recently met Trump at Trump Towers in New York earlier this month. Trump has sparred with Kelly after saying she treated him unfairly during his first GOP primary debate last August, when Kelly asked, "You called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals," adding, "Does that sound to you like the temperament of a man who should elect as president?" Of course, that was also a incident where Trump and Rosie O'Donnell? No. Shit, I can't remember which one it was. Him and this woman were going back and forth, and they were insulting each other back and forth. It wasn't just Trump throwing barbs. She was throwing barbs at him. They were going back and forth in the public. I'm sorry, but if you're going to step up, you know, well, you can't say that about a woman. Well, if she's stepping up to the argument and going back and forth, you know what? All's fair in love and war. And this one-sided conversation is getting to be bullshit and so tiresome. This one-sided of constantly sticking up for the woman and treating the women like they are a delicate, fragile vase. But then bitching when people treat them like delicate vases. It pisses me off. You know, you can't talk to them that way. No. You can't treat them that way. You can't treat them like they're fragile. They could do everything a man could do. Well, you know what? Man up. If you're going to go in an argument with somebody, take the shit and don't sit there. I'm a woman. You can't say that. If you're going to get in the argument, man up. Leonardo DiCaprio. Our planet cannot be saved unless we leave fossil fuels in the ground where they belong. Hey. Dumbass Caprio. Come here. Well, those fossil fuels is what allows you to jet around the country at will. Those fossil fuels are what allow you to yacht around the country in your big-ass yacht. Those fossil fuels you use constantly. Oh, and by the way, fossil fuels aren't made of fossils. Psst, come here. They're not made of fossils. Because how come there's no fucking oil in Arizona where all the fossils are being found? Huh? They're also, how are these oil pits that were drained dry just a couple decades ago filled back up? Doesn't it? I thought the fossil fuel theory, it takes millions of years for the fossils to turn into oils. Well, how does decades turn into millions of years? Because fossil fuels aren't made of fossils. You one hit. I know. He is just, I hate when these people, he's a good actor. I like some of his movies. I do. But he comes out and he talks like he thinks he's a scientist. And he doesn't realize the hypocrisy of his message as he jet sets around. Oh, I guess they can do whatever they want, but the rest of us have to walk around and not use vehicles or anything like that. God damn it, that's the second time I dropped that. The upheaval, a massive change, is required right now. But wait a minute. I've heard so many times that we are past the point of saving the planet. We're past bingo. There's nothing we can do. Wait a minute. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm now being told they moved the goal line back. Every time that they've set a goal, they said that this is going to happen by this date. And we've gone past it. Oh, I forgot to carry the 1 and divide by the 2 and times by the 3. So we still got this much time left. It just... Lead by example, DiCaprio. Give up your fossil fuel jets, your fossil fuel yachts. Give them up. And then maybe I'll start thinking I'll follow you. When you start living by what you preach, DiCaprio, maybe then I will listen to what you preach. An upheaval, a massive change is required right now, one that leads us to a new collective conscious. A new collective evolution of the human race, inspired and enabled by a sense of urgency from all of you. Assimilation is futile. What is he, part of the fucking Borg? I'm serious. A collective consciousness, a new collective evolution of the human race. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. Hey, DiCaprio, just go make your movies. Stop going to the UN. People aren't buying your bullshit. People aren't thinking that, oh my God, the planet is ending. Everybody's getting tired of this rhetoric. The only ones that believe this crap are the lemmings, and the lemmings are dying off. They keep running off the cliff. All it is, really, it's nothing. It's a way to redistribute wealth across the world. And look at the money trail. That's all they're doing. They're giving countries that can't afford it money so that they could stop using what they don't have and stop polluting where they don't pollute. Sorry about that. And with that, oh my God, today's show's just whizzing by. Can't believe how fast it is. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like that live stream, don't forget to hit subscribe and keep up to date. If you want to support the show or you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store. And lastly, go to Reaver.one, definitely. There's a link, the Glenn A. Doherty Memorial Scholarship. Please go there. Has the information for you to donate to this scholarship. We're trying to get it to 24,000. At 24,000, it becomes a permanent scholarship. So, Yoko Ono has said she had an affair with Hillary Clinton in the 70s. Okay, I just got a question. Who didn't she have an affair with in the 70s? I think that'd probably be an easier statement. And no, I don't believe it. It just, I find it funny. All right, the federal court reinstates Tom Brady's suspension. A federal court overturned Judge Richard Berman's ruling from late last summer, invalidating NFL's Commissioner Roger Goodell's 4-game suspension of NFL legend New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady over Deflategate affair. Even if an arbitrator makes mistakes of fact or law, we may not disturb an award so long as he acted within the bounds of his bargained for authority. 2 of the judges on the 3 panels ruled. I guess they have lost in their little, what the hell is that thing called? Oh my God, that's going to bug me. Hold on. Oh, what the hell is that called? Come on. Fantasy. NFL fantasy. It's... Please. And even if arbitrator mistakes of fact or law, he had no basis. And I don't like Tom Brady. I do not. I despise Tom Brady. I don't like the New England Patriots. I really do not like them. There is no proof. The investigator says, I think, but I have no proof on this, that Tom Brady knew. I think. So the NFL is going to go around suspending people because they think? There is no proof that Tom Brady had knowledge of this. The investigator said there is no proof that he had knowledge. He thinks he knew about it. So we're now going to discipline people, whether it's a private company or not. We're going to discipline people because we think. The U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals decision stems from a suspension levied on Brady months after the AFC Championship game that followed the 2014 regular season. Referees found a game ball under the league-mandated 12.5 PSI inflation requirement. The NFL subsequently admitted in ignorance of the ideal gas law that informs that weather condition, such as a sudden drop in temperature from a warm locker room to a cool field, results in air pressure changes. The NFL, after repeatedly referring to investigator Tom Wells as independent, cited attorney-client privilege to prevent him from turning over notes or answering certain questions during the league's appeal of Brady's legal team. By the 2 judges ruling in the NFL's favor says that perfection need not have characterized their process. They said the investigator was independent, but the attorney-client privilege prevents them from turning over notes or answering certain questions. Our role is not to determine for ourselves whether Brady participated in a scheme to deflate the footballs or whether the suspension imposed by the commission should have been 3 games or 5 games or none at all. Monday's ruling noted, nor is it our role to second-guess the arbitrator's procedural ruling. Our obligation is limited to determining whether the arbitration proceedings and award met the minimum league standards established by the Labor Management Relationship Act. The ruling takes Brady off the field against Arizona Cardinals, Dolphins, Texans, and Buffalo Bills. You know what? Brady, retire on their ass. You've won how many Super Bowls? You've made how much money? Fucking retire. Say, hey, NFL, fuck you. And then this is a winch hunt. You know, what it is Goodall is pissed that his authority was overturned, that he didn't have the power to do what he wants. He has turned a blind eye to a bunch of shit over the years, and now all of a sudden he wants to act like he's authoritarian. Fuck you, Goodall. Again, I am not a Brady cheerleader. I do not like Brady. He's a great quarterback, yes, but I don't like Brady. And all this is, and you know what? The other side should now appeal that ruling. Take it back and forth. This is getting ridiculous now. Everybody's going to be suing everybody in the future. No one's going to have jobs because they're always going to be in court. The only ones that will have jobs are the court personnel, the lawyers, the stenographer, the judges, the bailiff. Everybody else is going to be suing each other. You said hi to me the wrong way. No, it's underneath the rules that I can say hi to you however I want. I don't need to follow any rules. I could do whatever I want. I don't need to have facts on my side. Oh, wait a minute. That's the NFL. And their panel of so-called justice. They don't have to have fact. They don't have to follow the law. Yeah. Well, you know what? NFL, I could do the same thing that I did with NASCAR and stop watching. And just like so many fans have done with NASCAR, stop watching. We could stop watching the NFL. I find it disgusting the amount of money these people make in a game. How many tens of millions of dollars does Goodall get paid? It's... And I complain, yes, about these people making all this money because the ones that should be making the money, our soldiers, our firefighters, our EMS system, and no, they do not make all that great of money. Especially within the EMS system, our paramedics and our EMTs, no. And in a lot of areas, they make minimum wage. And yes, I do know about it. I've worked the field for 25 years. And it just, now that I'm out of it, I can say, because not that I wanted the money, I can say those are the people that deserve that money, and they don't get it. Those are the ones that deserve to be free agents and run around the country signing contracts, getting high dollars. Not somebody who wants to play a game. Well, the game that these emergency workers play is life-saving. Not who can score the most. So John Kasich won't campaign in Indiana, but they ought to vote for me. Donald Trump says an extraordinary collusion between Senator Ted Cruz and John Kasich aimed at unifying the anti-Trump vote and some remaining primaries is a desperate move by mathematically dead rivals. And I really think it should be investigated because it seems there is some working together and instructions being given between campaigns and campaigns to PACs, which is still illegal even in the primaries. They were giving instructions for what these PACs should do and how they should spend their money. Such collusion would be illegal in many industries, the Republican presidential frontrunner said, but is illustrative of everything that is wrong in Washington in our political system. And the only reason why the Cruz supporters aren't screaming about it is because it's their candidate doing it. If this was happening to their candidate, they'd be up in arms too. This is a ridiculous system. But yes, it is the system we have in place right now that allows. This should not be allowed. And these candidates, upon being mathematically eliminated, should be removed from running. Period. Sorry, I don't think they should be in. And that's my opinion. And yes, I have the right to it. And if you don't like it, sorry. Nothing I could do. It's my opinion. But these are the rules that we have to play with right now. I also feel that within these rules, that if we want to change the laws or the rules governing the primary, for the 2020 elections, those rules should be changed now. The rules should be changed the primary before. Because if you change them right before the convention, it gives an air of favoritism. And that's exactly what it does. So, by making it so any rule changes would have to come about the election before, would remove any air of favoritism. I think that would be a very upstanding and remove a lot of doubt. Put in there the guidelines for these campaigns of how they can interact between each other. And if they're going to start stepping out of states, that is a sign that their campaign is not out to win the nomination. And that's what these rules are supposed to uphold, is how a candidate is to go about winning the nomination, not how they are there to screw over another candidate. Make the playing field level, but that's what the Republican Party does not want. They want to be able to change the rules on the fly to suit them. Set the rules up the election before and make it so it's a little bit harder for rule changes to come about. And this archaic system of contested convention and brokered convention needs to go to the wayside. This is a system that was established for when candidates did not get around to all the states. They were unable to get around to all the states. Under the range outline late Sunday, Kasich and the the Ohio governor, will step back in the May 3rd Indiana contest to let Cruz bid for voters who don't like Trump. Cruz, a Texas senator, will do the same for Kasich in Oregon and New Mexico. The arrangement does not address the 5 northeastern states set to vote today, where Trump is expected to add to his already overwhelmingly delegate lead. He is expected, last I heard, to sweep tonight's election. That does not mean don't go out and vote in the primary. That's how candidates wind up losing. Go out and show the RNC that he is the overwhelmingly chosen candidate at this time. Yet the shift offers increasingly desperate Trump foes a glimmer of hope in their long and frustrating fight to halt the billionaire's rise. It is big news today that John Kasich has decided to pull out of Indiana to give us a head-to-head contest with Donald Trump. But Kasich is still saying vote for him in Indiana. He is trying to win the independent vote because they know Trump is pulling the independent vote, and that is more than enough to beat Cruz. When you have to lower yourself to these type tactics, and a lot of people are seeing it as lowering yourself, you've already proven that you have lost. And there's a lot of supporters that are now backing out of their support for Cruz after this. All right. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Then you can look at my ugly mug and get a good laugh. If you like the live stream, hit subscribe. Keep up to date. And if you want to support the show, for support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. And lastly, on Reaver.one, there's a Glenn A. Doherty Memorial Scholarship. Click on it. It has the email and the contact information for you to donate to that scholarship. It is in the name of a great man that gave his life so others may live. Oh, it's a long day living in Reseda. All right. Wow, there we are. There we are. Why didn't I do that while I was up there? Oh, talking to myself. It's okay to talk to yourself, people, as long as you don't answer. So, we're talking about the news that's been going around about Kasich and Cruz trying to team up. And take on Trump. They're trying to. Even though they've lost already. And that's what's funny. Cruz campaign personnel have said that the people have spoken and they want Cruz. The people want Cruz. They're just voting for Trump. Delusional. Very, very, very delusional to say that the people are voting one way, but they want something else. If they wanted Cruz, they would vote for Cruz. They're voting for Trump. He has this delusional air to him. I'm wondering if he's starting to believe the rhetoric being said about him, the rhetoric that Glenn Beck is talking about him. And if he's starting to believe this rhetoric that he is the chosen one, that he is the anointed one. It is, the delusion is setting in on this man so fiercely in his campaign. But today is another Super Tuesday. It's the Northeast Corridor. And we'll see how it goes. But Kasich is sending mixed messages as he addressed the pack for the first time while campaigning in Philadelphia. As what Indiana voters should do next week, the governor of Ohio, just 13 hours after the arrangement was announced, urged them to vote for him. I've never told them not to vote for me. They ought to vote for me, Kasich said in a Philadelphia dinner. He said he simply agreed not to spend resources in Indiana. And you ought to see, to prove a point, about who's backing who. Trump has been campaigning throughout Pennsylvania in stadiums, or arenas, I should say, mostly. And Cruz can barely fill one of these little office spaces. He did the night last Tuesday. He did this Philadelphia rally. 22 people showed up. It's funny how he kept bragging that he was going to take down Trump in the Northeast corridors. He was going to take down Trump in his home state. That the people would realize, and they are the ones, they want the anointed one. Then he lost. Then he said, well, I knew I was going to lose in New York. If you knew, why were you saying you were going to win? And then he was running his mouth. Well, I'll take them in the Northeast corridor with those votes. Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and all these states. I will take them. Now I'm going to lose them. I never said I was going to win them. I will take them in Indiana. I will take California. As Trump right now in those states, I know it's a little bit away, is leading the polls in those states. You keep hearing from Kasich and Cruz that they are going to beat Trump next time around. That they are going to, their campaign is going to pick up steam. It's starting to pick up steam. You know it's bad when you have to brag about wins in a voterless win. And now one of those states, Colorado, there's a possibility, and they're suggesting that the delegates get voted again. There was too many errors, clerical errors, and typos, that there's too much air of fraud going on. Sounds a little fishy to me. The announcement marks a sharp reversal of Cruz's team, which aggressively opposed coordinating anti-Trump efforts with Kasich as recently as late last week. And the agreement applies only to Indiana, Oregon, and New Mexico, 3 of the 15 states remaining on the Republican primary calendar. As Kasich backs out of Indiana, Cruz promised he would not compete in Oregon on May 17th and New Mexico on June 7th. Cruz's campaign manager, Jeff Rowe, said in a statement explaining the new plans that Trump would be soundly defeated by the Democratic nominee, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. Having Trump at the top of the ticket in November would be a sure disaster for the Republican. But what they don't tell you is those same polls say Cruz would lose just as bad. That Kasich would lose just as bad. So they're not putting out the truth to the people. Typical politician. Added Kasich's chief strategist, John Weaver, our goal is to have an open convention in Cleveland. They can't win it, so they want it handed to them at the convention in Cleveland. And it's where they feel confident a candidate capable of uniting the party and winning in November will emerge as the nominee. Trump is set to campaign in Rhode Island and Pennsylvania yesterday. 2 of the 5 states housing primary contests today. Connecticut, Delaware, and Maryland are also voting. Speaking to several thousand people Sunday evening in Maryland, Trump stressed repeatedly that he expects to win the 1237 delegates needed for the first round of voting in Cleveland to starve off a contested convention. And he only cares about the first. We're not going for the second or third or fourth or fifth. You know a winner when they say they only want to win. They don't want to take a loss and have the championship handed to them. The UN, the United Nations, is pressing for alternative ways to admit more Syrian refugees to the United States. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has considered alternative ways to admit more Syrian refugees to the United States beyond the current refugee resettlement program, according to the Center for Immigration Studies. The legitimacy and transparency of these new alternative pathways, aimed at admitting increasing number of Syrian refugees, even though against what the people want, the citizens of the United States want, into the United States without calling them refugees remains to be seen. So what they're going to try to do is change the wording to get better press, which is something that they do often. Illegal alien to undocumented alien to American in waiting. They don't want to use the term refugees because people might turn their backs on that. They might even amount to convenient emissions detours at a time when the U.S. refugee resettlement program is under tight scrutiny. According to Rush, facing a target, and not Rush Limbaugh, CIS senior researcher, Nayla Rush, facing a target to resettle close to 500,000 Syrian refugees over the next 3 years, UN representatives have already been laying the rhetoric groundwork for pursuing such alternatives to resettlement. During a panel discussion at the Brookings Institute in February, Ms. Rush detailed Beth Harris, research professor at Georgetown University and advisor to the United Nations Secretary General on humanitarian refugee policy, noted the possibility of alternative paths. In other words, they want to backdoor the will of the people. They want to ignore what the will of the people want, lie to them about what's going on to get what they want. Again, the UN is not what it was designed for. The UN has become drunk with power. The UN thinks it could do whatever it wants in any country it wants. The UN needs to be kicked the fuck out of the United States, sent packing. We need to stop financing that organization. We have gone from fighting socialism, fighting this crap, to supporting it, promoting it. And I don't understand how the same allied forces that lay down so many men's life to fight off socialism and other atrocities is now promoting socialism and those atrocities. And the lead character is the UN. And it was born from the ashes. We have become the monster. The UN has become the monster. The Allied forces have become the monster that we so hard fought to destroy. How did that happen? We have socialism being taught to our kids as a good thing. We have socialism being wrapped up in pretty bows and making it sound so cozy and warm. Socialism has never worked and never will, no matter how you wrap it up. We'll be right back after this message. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cough was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host with the mostest, Jersey Joe. Dang it. I don't know if my ears are clogged or what. It just doesn't sound right. All right. There we go. Let's see how that goes. Don't understand that one. Sorry about this. It's just sounding really, really weird to me. Don't worry, I'm making sense out of the senseless, even with a microphone that's giving me trouble today. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast of the show, a live broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live stream. Or you could just go to YouTube and search Reaver of Common Sense, and you can watch even past shows. If you like those shows, click subscribe. Keep up to date on the new shows. Again, you can go to YouTube, just type Reaver of Common Sense in the search, and pops it up. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1 and click on the Reaver store. So, the UN. The UN was created out of the ashes of World War II to make sure that the atrocities that started World War II would never happen again. And it is now promoting those same atrocities. That Allied forces that created the UN are now promoting those same atrocities. And the same government that started World War II and created the UN. And now they're trying to backdoor and pull shenanigans to get what they want in the United States and overload us with immigrants like they've done in Europe. I mean, Europe has pretty much screwed itself by having such open borders. Now they're trying to even the so-called master plan, which everybody said would come and they said it would never happen. That is not what they want. Europe is now set, once they're done with England, to find out whether they are coming or going, to doing away with all the governments and having one European state. It would do away with all the borders and all the governments and just have one ruling government. The people in the groups that tried to take over Europe in the 30s, their plan has finally come to fruition, and Europe is going to be one nation under the UN. I don't know about you, but that makes me sick of how many hundreds of thousands of American men and women died. And now, it is turning into exactly what they gave their lives for. People. The UN is not out for the betterment of the people. The UN is not what it was created for. The UN is turning into Nazi Germany. Slowly, but surely, it is promoting those same values. You have Europe that's looking to turn into a one nation, to remove the borders and remove the governments and remove the way of life of each individual country. This is not conspiracy. These are actual events that are taking place that are being not well advertised. This world is under attack. The old saying, maybe not old saying, but what even Lincoln said about America, I think is true for the Allied forces. These people knew that they could not destroy us from the outside. So they came in and became part of us and are now destroying us from the inside, turning us into the exact same thing that we fought against. We fought to keep the spread of socialism. And here it is. All the Allied countries are promoting it, including the United States. This is not theory. This is not somebody's movie. This is real life of what's going on, people. And it's not Democrats. It's our government that's doing this. We need to take back control of this country. And we need to do it fast. And I urge the people of Europe, same thing. Take back control of your countries from these people. The European Union has been a huge failure, and now they're even trying to take that failure a step further. But instead of taking over countries by force, they promote lies and get the people to do it for them. We will have this in the United States not too much longer. They try to push it off as conspiracy theory, the one world nation. They try to push it off as these nut jobs. But they're going to try to force and push a North American Union on us in the United States, between Canada, United States, and Mexico. And then 10, 15 years down the road, they will then push for all three of us to become one country. And then they will slowly expand it. They'll expand the European state. And then slowly they will start combining those individual large states with other large states, where they'll create a South American state and Central America. And then we'll have the American Union of North, South, and Central. And then we'll merge with Europe. And I know so many people say, oh, that's just conspiracy theories. That's just a bunch of tinfoil hat talking. We're seeing it, people. Look at the European Union. That was one step. And now they're talking about combining all the European unions into one country. And they're floating and trying to put the idea in people's heads slowly about a North American Union. And slowly progress it to the next stage and the next stage. And the ones that are doing this is the United Nations. And people say there's no big issue about the Bureau of Land Management. Look at what they're taking control of. Waterways. And on that, I'm going to leave you with that thought today. And I want to thank you for being here. And I don't expect you to believe what I say, but research. Look into it. Don't just go to one site. Go to multiple sites. Start reading around. Read into different areas. With that, I say, have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.